Howdy. Welcome to the next episode of Homesteading Ain't Easy. Well, it's the day before Thanksgiving, and a lot has happened since the last time I recorded. Been on the property about 2.5 weeks, not quite 3 weeks yet, about 2.5 weeks now, and a lot has happened. So I'll kind of take you through some updates real quick, and then we're going to go over some chainsaw basics. And then I have to take down some cedar trees. That's kind of what I've been doing, is taking down cedar trees. We have some people with some severe allergies to them, and they make great posts, so we're going to repurpose them as fence posts for some perimeter fences. And then the bigger ones we're going to make into porch posts. We're going to shave the bark off of them, put a coat of lacquer over them, and then use them as porch posts for my Quonset hut. So thanks for joining, and let's get into some quick updates, and then we'll go over some chainsaw basics and get into some chainsaw work. Good, clean American fun. Yeehaw, y'all. Alright, so you should be able to see in the background there's a bulldozer on site, and they came and staked out the perimeter of where the foundation is going to go. And so for our Quonset hut, the measurements of the building itself are going to be 42 feet wide, 74 feet long, and 20 feet high. It'll be a 2-story house, and inside it'll be framed out just like a standard house will be. Wood, everything a standard house will have, it'll be framed out just like that. So super excited to see this. Super excited to see the bulldozer. As you can see from when I first started, did quite a bit of work with the front end loader, the skid steer loader. Cleared out a lot of the brush that was sitting on top. Didn't quite get as much over here done as I wanted, but that was a time constraint. I did as much as I could in the week that we had the loader on site, so I got as much done as I could. We built our own personal volcano. It's awesome. We're calling it Mount CG. That stands for Carol and Garrison, which me and my wife are Garrison, and my brother-in-law and sister-in-law are the Carols. So this is our own. We use the skid steer loader to build up dirt mounds on each side, and this thing has been going for 4 days now. We're using it to burn the cedar and whatever else we cut down. But it's been awesome. It's been fun. Let's see. My brother-in-law, Michael, got a couple shipping containers for storage. He found those locally, got a pretty good deal on them. I think he got them for about $3,000 a piece delivered. So that's pretty cool. He's gonna kind of build out some doors and stuff in the middle, so he has a workspace in the middle of them, and then his Quonset hut will be over here where this land needs to be cleared out a little bit still. But he's got a couple containers on site. That's cool. And then, quick update to Chateau Garrison. Got the canopy up for the tent, and that is super cool. I have a front porch. I'm calling it the foyer. But yeah, oh, got my little alien buddy over there. And look at all these nasty bastards. They are flocking in here like nothing else. So I have caught quite a few of them, but y'all gotta meet Al. He entertains too when we have guests. Show him, Al. That's my buddy. Can't live out in the country without some kind of weird stuff, right? All right, so a quick update. You see behind me, quite a difference, huh? Look at that driveway, or as the local guys call it, a road. So 500 feet long, about darn near 20 foot wide in some spots, but it took 6 loads of gravel. The culvert took 3 loads of fill dirt, so that's 36 cubic yards, 72 cubic yards of gravel. We went with a crushed limestone to get us through construction. That'll pack down pretty much hard as cement. It's had a couple rains on it. We've been driving over it. It is about as hard as cement now. And then once construction is all done, then we're going to put what's called a blue chat or an SB2 over it. And that's kind of a darker bluish gray rock, and it'll look a lot nicer. And then over here, we'll have a driveway splitting off 2 different ways. One going around the back of my Quonset hut, and my garage will be on the back side. And then one going over to my brother-in-law's Quonset hut. So we're going to do that with the blue chat gravel. But this driveway is a whole other world compared to the previous videos that you saw. The mud pit is all filled in. It has an 18-inch culvert pipe for the stream to run through. And we got a heck of a rain last night. It was a heck of a storm, actually. The tent made it. But I was up for 3 hours last night from midnight to 3 a.m. wondering if the tent was going to make it through. It was crazy. But we made it through. But yeah, you can see the gravel. The trucks were awesome. The gravel contractor was awesome. I did a lot of backfilling through here with dirt that I had scraped off the top of the land to kind of create a barrier from when the stream rises when we get storms. But yeah, we have a road, so we can get through the mud pit, and then construction trucks can get in and out. We'll take a quick look at the culvert here. So there's our stream. This is the in portion. We got some 4-inch rock laid down, and then you see the red clay. So we did the 4-inch rock, red clay, 3 loads of that. That stuff packs in hard as rock once it's compacted. And then we did the 1.5-inch limestone over the top of everything. And so we got water flowing in, 18-inch pipe going underneath, and on the other side we have water coming out. So that will allow the stream to flow underneath the driveway and not wash it out. Pretty cool stuff. And so that's about all the updates we have for now, and next we'll go into some chainsaw basics. So I'll show you the cedar trees that I need to take down. I've already taken down a bunch. And then we'll go over some chainsaw basics for those who aren't too familiar with chainsaws and how they operate and stuff like that. Pretty simple machines, but very dangerous machines, but also very fun machines. There's nothing like ripping through a tree with a chainsaw. It's pretty fun, but definitely some safety things to keep in mind when you're doing so. So we'll go over that. And what we have over here is, you can see the big tall one it's starting to yellow, and that's the pollen, and that is where the allergies come from. I'm allergic to them, but my brother-in-law is severely allergic to them. It basically shuts him down. It seems like every time I find one and cut it down, I see 3 more back somewhere behind it. So I'm going to keep at it and keep chopping them down. This is the big one. So basics of felling a tree, and again, I'm not a professional. I don't work for a tree company. I did a lot of research on the internet, watched a lot of YouTube videos, and learned a lot. So that's a good sized tree. It's got limbs on it the size of small cedar trees. So this one will definitely take some preparation and assessment of how I want to tackle it. So that's kind of step number one, is assessing your situation. You want to see which way it's leaning, where the weight is, which way the branches are. So when I look at this tree, I can see a lot of the branches are coming out here to the right, a lot of the big branches. So that's where the weight is going to carry it. So I am going to notch it and fell it to where it comes down this direction. I want it to come down here, basically in this area. So, assessing my situation, I know what direction I want it to fall. I want to clear out as much of the underbrush to make a clear area around the tree. And that way I have a safe working space and I'm not going to trip. And I also want to plan out an escape route. This is a big tree, a lot of weight, a lot of force when it falls. It can be a very dangerous situation. So I want to have an escape route. So it's going to fall this way if all goes as planned. I'll actually probably have it come in a little bit since that limb is there. If it falls directly that way, that limb is going to catch it, possibly snap, or possibly stop the tree from falling all the way. That could be dangerous. So I will probably have it go directly out this way towards that dirt mound and have the dirt mound catch it. But this is a big tree, so seeing that I am going to have it fall that way, my escape route is going to be back this way behind it. So what I need to do is clear out everything around it, probably within an 8 to 10 foot radius. I'm going to do my best looking up at these limbs. This one is dead, so I'm going to do my best to get this one off of there. But these limbs can be very dangerous as well. Down here at the base, I've got a nice area to work with. What I'll do is I'll put a notch down low for the direction I want it to go. And when I cut my notch, it's going to be about a third of the way into the tree. So it'll be flat on the bottom, angled in from up above, and it'll go in about a third of the way of the tree. Then when I'm actually making my cut, that'll be about 2 inches above the notch. So when I get far enough into my cut, I'm going to drive a wedge so the weight of the tree does not come down on the chainsaw blade and stop it from turning. And then what will happen is once that wedge is in there, the chain can keep going. And then when I get far enough through the tree, gravity is going to take its, gravity and weight is going to take its natural course, and it's going to fall in the direction that I notched it. So I think I'm going to do that probably on Friday. Going to enjoy Thanksgiving tomorrow with the family. And then I think I'm going to fell this big guy on Friday. So we'll get video of that before I post the episode. And fingers crossed it all goes safely. Alright, so very quick Chainsaw 101. This is probably not all inclusive. I'm probably missing something. But this is my chainsaw. And it's an Echo CS490. 18-inch, which is one of the bigger models. I can pretty much take down any tree around the property with this. I love it. Everybody has their preference on brand. Some guys like steel. Echo is fine with me. Echo is not a bad chainsaw, so steels probably are the best. but that doesn't mean that Echoes are bad, or Husqvarna, or the other brands that are out there. So Echoes are a solid chainsaw. Pretty simple machines. They use it's what's called a 2-cycle engine. So it uses mixed gas. So 2-cycle oil mixed with gasoline at a 50-to-1 ratio. This bottle of oil, I got it at Walmart. It has lines, depending on what your ratio needs to be, to where you can measure it out in this top chamber per 1 gallon of gas. So this is a 1-gallon gas tank. So I can read on the back of the label that for 1 gallon at a 50-to-1 ratio, fill it to this level, put it in the can, and then put 1 gallon of gas in there with it. So your oil and your gas are mixed together. Then you have a different kind of oil for the chain itself, to lubricate the chain as it's operating. And for that, they do make what's called bar oil, but, and I read the manual, I can use a straight 30 weight lubricating oil. So again, I got that at Walmart, non-detergent lubricating oil, straight 30 weight. So the chainsaw itself has 2 compartments that you fill up. The gas oil mixture back here in this compartment, and the bar oil, the chain oil, up here in this front compartment. So as the chain is spinning, this oil comes out and lubricates it so it doesn't overheat and stop. So every time you fill up the gas tank, you should also be filling up your bar oil. And this is called the bar. And so spark plug, it's right here on top on this particular model. This is my choke over here. So usually when I start it, I'll pull the choke out. Or if it's having, if it's not starting right away, sometimes I just keep the choke in and it'll start up. And it has an on-off switch. Safety feature that it has, your palm has to depress that before you pull the trigger. Okay, now very important safety feature. This is your hand guard. It also operates as a chain stop. So the chain will not go as long as it is pushed out. This pushes in and pushes out. So what it's meant to do is that if your chain catches or something and it starts to kick back up towards you, which that chain coming up towards your face would not be good. It's a bad situation. This is meant to hit your hand or hit your wrist and disengage the chain, stop the chain. So when it's running, you have to actually pull this in and you'll hear a click and then let it go, and then you can operate the chainsaw and the chain will spin. When you're done cutting, make sure you always push that back forward to disengage the chain. Otherwise, if you're not paying attention and you pull the trigger, that chain is going to spin. Or if you start it up and you're not paying attention and that is already pulled in, and then you go to pull the trigger, or you just start it, the chain could start spinning. Not a safe situation. So always be mindful of your chain brake, hand guard, chain stop. That is probably the most important safety feature. Okay, so I'll start her back up and give a quick demonstration of how to engage and disengage the chain stop. To start it, right here, it has a flat part that you actually step on with your foot to keep that down to the ground, and then you can do the pull start. Alright, so let's start her up real quick. So, do my on-off switch on. I'm going to pull the choke out, see what happens, and then if it's not starting, I'll put the choke back in. So foot stepping on that. Okay, so you see I kind of got some fire there, but then it went out. I'm going to put the choke back in. Alright. Ignition switch on. I have the choke in. Make sure that is pushed forward so the chain is not going when I start it. Okay, so I pull this in, and the chain spins. And then I push it back out. You can hear that click. Chain's not spinning. So pull it in, you'll hear a click. Push it back out, hear a click, no spins. And there you go. Alright y'all, today's the day. Big bastard behind me is coming down. So I got a little bit of work to do first, clear out the area around it, and then, like I said, she's coming down. So I'll have my head cam on, you get a little bit of first person action as I'm doing it. And then I'll also have the tripod set up so you can get a third person view. Let's get to work. And excuse my French, but those thorny vines are a bitch, but you really need to get rid of them. They're strong enough that they can really hold the tree up and impede its fall, but they are a bitch. Alright, so there's my notch. So I'm going to make some cuts here along the side to kind of get into the side a little bit. So here's where I'm going to hammer my wedge in. Timber! Ow! Now I gotta cut my way out. Now I gotta cut my way out. Now I am free. And there you have it. Big Bertha is down. So now I'll continue work, lemon, cut that trunk into a manageable size piece that we can drag it out of there, shave it, and that's going to make one beautiful porch post with the main trunk. And then the limbs coming off of it are the size of small cedar trees, so those will make some great fence posts for the barbed wire fence we're going to do. So I'm really happy with how it came out and managed to do it safely, so that's a good day. It's winter time here in Texas, but it's still about 60 degrees, and chainsaw work is work. I'm sweating my butt off, y'all. But that was fun, and like I said, accomplished it safely. That's the #1 goal, obviously. So part 2 of this will be kind of after you chop it down, processing it. I have a draw blade to shave it with, shave the bark off, and so part 2 of this chainsaw, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, if you will, we'll be processing it after you cut it down. So thank you. Tune in again. See you next time.